WXII 12 News at 4:30 starts right now.
And coming up this morning on WXII 12, an officer hurt and a man waking up in jail. What led the suspect to take officers on a high-speed chase through Winston-Salem. Plus, the Panthers owner in hot water this Friday, how one former employee described the football team's work environment. And Greensboro strong, how much money the city managed to raise after a show-stopping concert days after a deadly tornado. Well, TGIF, folks, good Friday morning to you. I'm Devontae McKenneth. Let's say good morning to meteorologist Brian Slocum. Brian, not too bad of a start temperature-wise, but boy, is it foggy.
It is very foggy out there. Visibility is rough outside. Just to put it in perspective, driving at 52 in Business 40 in Winston-Salem, you normally see a nice picturesque view of the Winston-Salem skyline. Can't see it this morning. No lights at all coming from that direction. We got dense fog over the majority of the triad. Visibility anywhere from about a quarter mile or less to about 3 miles in Burlington. It's a little patchier and spottier as you move farther north and west, but we're still trying to cool temperatures down. The lower atmosphere is quite moist, and as a result, the fog is developing under some clearing over the area. National Weather Service offices are in the process of issuing dense fog advisories. Blacksburg issued it for the border counties, down across the Greenville-Spartanburg jurisdiction, Davie County under a dense fog advisory. Triad not yet, but at least a few counties could still fall under that as we go through the morning. This is in the wake of several days of rain, the latest round just pulling east of the area during the overnight hours. We had a couple of little more intense looking thunderstorms coming through. No warnings last night, but it did put a damper on some of the outdoor activities last night. Things are kind of quiet for now. There's still a lot of upper level energy that's lingering around, and that could set off a few sprinkles or spotty showers. Whatever falls today in the form of rain will be light and it will be brief, and it should be in a window sometime midday into the afternoon hours today. We'll see some clearing later on tonight. 50s this morning with dense fog in a few areas, clearing skies gradually this afternoon with a high of around 72 degrees. We'll talk about changes to your forecast coming up in just a bit.
Happening now at 4:32, a Winston-Salem police officer is recovering this morning after being pinned by a car. The driver of that car now in jail. Winston-Salem police tell us an officer was attempting to serve a warrant on this man, Zachary Lynn, on the 2000 block of Broad Street. Police say Lynn spotted authorities, and that's when he drove off. While he was driving away, he managed to pin that officer against the pavement. Another officer then fired shots at Lynn's car just before that chase started around 11 o'clock yesterday morning. Lynn led police on a 1.5 mile long chase as eyewitnesses stared in disbelief.
It pushed the PT Cruiser up the hill, and when it did, it pushed it out into the street here. When it got it out into the street, that's when all chaos broke loose.
Eventually, Lynn crashed into a utility pole where police arrested him. His charges this morning include fleeing to elude arrest and assault with a deadly weapon on a law enforcement officer. A Winston-Salem police officer and 2 drivers should be okay after crashing into each other. Police tell us Officer J.T. Williams had his lights and sirens on at Coliseum Drive and University Parkway. A driver didn't stop in time and hit his car head on just before 5:30 last night. That crash then caused Williams to hit another car. All the injuries are said to be minor. Well, so far, no charges are being filed after a deadly crash in Davidson County. It involved a box truck, tractor trailer, and a car on I-85 South in Lexington. Troopers say a Camry hit the back of that box truck, and then the truck pulled over, but the Camry driver kept going. Moments later, a tractor trailer hit that Camry. The driver in that Camry was killed. The other drivers did not have any serious injuries. 434, 2 19-year-olds wanted for a home invasion and also a shooting in Thomasville are now in police custody. Tyrick and Michael Bethea surrendered to police yesterday. The two, along with Jadarius Green, are being charged with breaking into a home on Inslee Street Wednesday morning and shooting a man multiple times. That victim has since been released from the hospital. A second person inside that home did not get hurt. Investigators still are not releasing a motive. Former NBC Nightly News anchor Tom Brokaw is denying allegations of sexual harassment. Former NBC correspondent Linda Vester accuses him of trying to force her to kiss him 20 years ago, and she also says she was groped. Vester claims Brokaw showed up to her hotel room uninvited And in a statement, he said he only had 2 brief meetings with Vester and that he never made what he called, quote, romantic overtures toward her. A former Carolina Panthers employee spoke with Sports Illustrated about the sexual harassment claims against the team's owner. She says Jerry Richardson wrote her inappropriate letters and created a workplace culture of fear and intimidation. Richardson hasn't spoke about the allegations quite yet, but the Panthers organization says it is taking appropriate steps to fix any workplace issues. The team is now up for sale. Bill Cosby is now awaiting to be sentenced after being found guilty of drugging and raping a woman at his Pennsylvania mansion in 2004. It took the panel of 7 men and 5 women 2 days to come up with that decision. Cosby could face up to 10 years for each of the 3 counts he was found guilty of. The attorney for some of Cosby's accusers say they are relieved.
We are so happy that finally we can say women are believed, and not only on #MeToo, but in a court of law.
Cosby is now out of jail, free on bond. A letter from Governor Roy Cooper is on its way to the desk of President Trump requesting a federal disaster declaration for Greensboro and Rockingham County. Vice President Mike Pence toured the damage in Greensboro last Friday. Now, if the federal disaster declaration is approved, tornado victims will be able to receive FEMA grants or loans to repair property and replace essential belongings. Well, hundreds showed up and showed out at LeBauer Park last night for the Greensboro Strong Community Concert. Organizers put the concert together to help the city get back on its feet after that devastating and deadly tornado last week. Vanessa Ferguson headlined the concert, and other local musicians took to the stage as well. The concert brought in roughly $4,300.
It makes me very hopeful, you know, just for the sense of community, the sense of support that they're showing.
It's refreshing to know that people can and will come together in the time of need.
Now, all the proceeds went to the East Greensboro Tornado Relief Fund. And Greensboro city leaders are asking you at home to donate money and time to help those tornado victims. The United Way and the Community Foundation of Greater Greensboro both set up relief funds to help people rebuild their homes. They also need volunteers to help at the food pantry, relief centers, and with cleanup sites. Well, next this morning, flames scorching a refinery in Wisconsin, how the fire impacted people several miles away. Plus, classes canceled, hallways empty, why officials at the university in New York want students to stay inside their rooms. Good Friday morning, it is 4:38. You're watching WXII 12 News.